Hey guys, so today I thought I would make a video kind of going over the Assassin Ascendancy, and it's gotten like a rework as of, I believe, was it this league? 3.27 is when they kind of reworked it a little bit. I unfortunately do think the rework is still quite weak and underwhelming, and there's just really a big lack of like defensive layers whatsoever, and even the damage nodes are still not that great to me. So I thought I would kind of go over some changes that I would maybe make to Assassin because I think it is quite cool thematically. And yeah, just go over some stuff that I think they could still improve on Assassin to make it like an interesting option that could be, somewhat competitive because right now I personally just can't really justify going Assassin over something like Trickster, and I don't even know, maybe Saboteur is even better, but Saboteur also has its issues, so. For the nodes I'm going to show, this is a modified tree. I just have it in Ruthless because I didn't feel like modifying the main trees. I mean, because I don't care about the Ruthless trees. Like, I'm never looking at these a day in my life because Ruthless is XDD. So anyway, I can kind of just go over the Assassin nodes. I'll just go over in the base. So these two nodes, this is basically damage with poison, when your critting is higher, essentially, and then the poisons last longer. So just more poison damage, and you want to crit when you poison. Then all damage could poison. Yeah, this is honestly alone very strong node. No problem with this. This is obviously meant to work with Perfect Agony. Perfect Agony is okay, but I think right now it has a massive issue with damage over time for ailments is equal to critical strike multiplier. I think critical strike multiplier should add on to this and not replace it because you have to go these poison wields no matter what build you are for poison essentially because you need the masteries because the masteries are good. And you lose a lot of value because damage over time multiplier for poison essentially just gets negated by this. So I think it should add on and then it would be decent. I don't think it's like unusable now, but it's not great. So yeah. But yeah, overall, these nodes, I don't have an issue. These are fine, honestly. They're, decent. This is like very strong. It's a 4-pointer, so a 4-pointer should be very strong. This node, Shadow Blood, 40% physical damage, recouped his life, and unaffected by damaging ailments. I think it's okay. Again, this doesn't really help defensively at all, in my opinion. At most, you can use this for like some self-ailment shenanigans. But I just think it's still quite underwhelming for what you have to kind of invest to even get use out of this. Like, it's definitely good, especially early league, when you don't have immunity, right? But I just think it's too weak overall. And yeah, this is one of the notes I thought I would change. Mistwalker, elusive on crits, 100% elusive effect, and no damage from crits while elusive. Honestly, it is a solid node, but the issue is more so with elusive itself being I would say it's good. You're using it with Nightblade usually and having like 300% elusive effect. And elusive basically starts at like, say like 300%, and it kind of goes down, right, as it decays naturally over time, getting weaker and weaker. The issue is you can't remove elusive, so there's kind of a threshold where it feels very bad, where it's basically doing almost nothing. Like 50% to 0 just feels so bad. So this would be a node I would change that I will go into shortly. Unstable Infusion. I just think this node is honestly quite bad. Like, it's just giving you max power charges essentially all the time, which like fine, whatever. But with Assassin, you're kind of, I feel like with a crit build especially, you're almost always going to want to be going Assassin's Mark. And generating power charges through Assassin's Mark. So the power charge generation of this is kind of just useless. So it's basically just +1 max power charges. And even if you're like a stacker, right, and you go up here, power charge and kill, right? And if you're, again, a power charge stacker, you're going to want to be going Assassin's Mark anyway because of the crit chance and multi, because you're going to be a crit build like 99% of the time. So it's just very redundant. So this is basically, I just think this is quite a weak node. Like Tricksters, for example, you get 2 Frenzy Charges and Charge Duration, which is actually quite good. But yeah, this is just very underwhelming, but whatever. This is Sandstorm Visage. I think this is actually pretty good. This is a solid node, 4-pointer. It's strong. I don't really have any issues with it. Going on, Death Marked. Okay, this node, I won't lie, it's ass. Like, what even is this? So, like, you get level 30 Assassin's Mark for free, essentially. And when they're marked, you can't evade. The issue with the cannot evade like this is it's simply way too inconsistent. You really want this on every mob because you don't want to go any accuracy. Otherwise, what's the point, right? And this is, keep in mind, a 4-point node that is, I probably wouldn't even go this if it was 2 point. Like, I wouldn't even go this if it was 2 points, honestly, like just out here, like right here. But 4 points is just insane for this, considering this is also like a fairly weak node. Like, you have to take this with this, which literally makes this, is literally anti-synergy. So, like, yeah, I don't even know. But, like, to compare this, we have, for example, Champion, 2-point node. Enemies taunted take 50% increased damage, you taunt them, and they can't evade your attacks. This is literally just infinitely better for 2 points. Like, yeah, I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Knife in the Back and For the Jugular are actually quite good. Well, I think... Which is the one with Chance? Knife in the Back, right? Knife in the Back, I think, is quite good. Yeah, I mean, solid node. Opportunistic, I think, is actually pretty good as well. I think it is fairly... I definitely want to... You'd probably want to only be using this. I think, generally, I don't know if this would be something you really take, unless you're taking it from a Forbidden Jewel. But it's not bad. I think for specialized content especially, this can be useful, but it just kind of depends on what you're farming, right? Like 25% more damage for single targets, and then kind of when you're mapping, it's kind of like 35%. Honestly solid. I don't know if I'd do 4 points for it, but, you know, I don't think it's terrible. It's decent. Like, I don't think it needs to be changed. So I will go into the changed versions that I made. I changed 4 of the nodes. Shattered Blood. So I thought it would be interesting if you had kind of a bigger payoff for committing to kind of inflicting ailments to yourself in some way. 15% reduced damage taken while affected by a damaging ailment. I thought this would be similar to Born in the Shadows, which this is ruthless, but it's 10% or it's 15%. It basically nearby enemies are blinded, 15% reduced damage taken from blinded enemies. Essentially, you're just taking 15% reduced damage. I would say this is a little bit better because this affects not only enemies, but like degens and just random stuff that hits you that's not really from an enemy. So this is actually good, but you do have to have a way to constantly inflict these ailments on you. So this may be a little strong, but I think this is would be an interesting... You could even make it 10% reduced. I just think this is kind of... It's really the only straight-up defense that Assassin would have, right? Literally just this one node, and you still have to invest in kind of a unique way. I just think this would be very interesting and like make it a lot more cool to take and kind of build around. Mistwalker. So here, the same thing, but I just added Elusive is removed from you at 100% effect. This could be too strong even, because this makes Elusive and Nightblade massively more consistent, and overall the uptime is higher, so this essentially just makes it strong, a lot more stronger. If this is too strong even, you could do 50% chance to remove, and you could pair it with the Oshabi node down here. And when you add these up, you know, you'd have the 100%, and this would take 2 nodes as well, which is a pretty big investment, but I would probably think that would be a safer bet, but I think this is very strong. So maybe either this or the 50%, I still think is a very big upgrade. Just getting the full 100%, I think could be very strong and interesting for Nightblade builds. So yeah. Unstable Infusion, I don't really know. Like, I don't have a great thing to upgrade here. It's whatever. I think I can justify leaving this as kind of a weaker node because you get to 2 other nodes here. But I just thought maybe something like 20 crit multi per power charge would be good. I mean, it doesn't make it like insane or anything. You could even make this like 10%, I don't know. But something like this, it's just very underwhelming right now, right? And kind of anti-synergy with the rest of the class, which is just weird to me. So yeah, I think this just makes it a little stronger and feels less bad that you have to take a use an honor point to get one of these 2 other nodes. Finally, I just completely redid the Deathmark node, and I changed it to enemies cannot evade your attacks if you deal a critical strike recently. This makes it very similar to the champion node. And keep in mind, this requires the 4 points, right? You have to go through this to get this. So I think this should be very strong, or at least, you know, kind of build enabling, right? Like this is a 4-point node and it is completely build enabling and very unique. This is also extremely strong. So I think this is fine. And then you can apply an additional curse. I just thought it was kind of cool thematically because I don't even know if cannot evade your attacks if you dealt a critical strike recently. Essentially, it's just for, you know, you're going to be going a crit build on this ascendancy. So it could have very well just read enemies cannot evade your attacks. That's might as well be what it's saying. But I don't even think that alone is worth 4 points considering what champion has. So I added you can apply an additional curse because I thought that would kind of be cool thematically. You know, it lets you maybe use something like because you're a lot of times going to be using Assassin's Mark, right? So, and I think this would even give more synergy because if you think about it, right, maybe you're crit capped already and you don't want to use Assassin's Mark or something for whatever reason. I probably still would be, but some weird build, you're already crit capped, you have a lot of multi, you don't really need Assassin's Mark, or something like that. Maybe you drop it and use 2 other curses, like you use Enfeeble and Sniper's Mark or something like Conductivity. So, you know, it just gives some more options. And I think it's a solid kind of change to this node, because before I just think this node is very counterintuitive with the rest of the Ascendancy. So anyway, yeah, I'm hoping that they still work on Assassin a bit. Like, it has potential. I just think it is simply too weak right now, and it's probably still going to be like 0.5% play rate once again in the next league, unless they do some more changes, because I just think it is a bit too weak to, you know, justify going over other stuff right now to me. And I think it is quite cool thematically. So yeah, I think this would be some interesting changes that they can make to Assassin to kind of make it a bit more competitive. And yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to 3.28, and just thought I would make this video because I was thinking about like how I was hoping Assassin would be a bit better this league. And yeah, excited for 3.28, so thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.